Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's season 12, episode 3, and those that have been with us for the season so far will know exactly why we're back today. It is our Champions League debut, in fact our European debut as a manager. Our first time in this level of competition, and it's the biggest stage of all. The Champions League, again 8-time consecutive Turkish Super League winners Fenerbahce, and it is going to be a very tough test for us at Borussia Park. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Probably won't be the longest episode in the world, but certainly one of the most important of the series. And there's also been some good goings on off the pitch. So we had a hectic deadline day last time out. We had some disappointment and some good moments as well. So those of you that have missed the season so far, please do click back in the eye above to catch up. Bayern Munich have lost to Dortmund at home in the Bundesliga, which has tightened up the top of the table slightly. And we've won our game after the international break against struggling Paderborn to get us back in contention. So top 4 very much the aim. We've got to stay there now. And we've got some new signings to help us out today, and an exciting moment and an exciting new partnership in midfield for this home match against Fenerbahce. But firstly, before we go and get into this, I normally do a quick plug of my content on the channel and the podcast, and I probably still will. But first, I think I better address this, because I'm sure someone will mention it. The little red mark on my head here, so you can probably see it in the webcam in the corner, depending on what device you're watching. I thought I'd explain it before I get asked the question. We've put up a cheap gazebo in the garden. I forgot it was there, turned round, walked into it head first. So there you go, classy. Let's move on though. If you are new to the channel and you're looking forward to this one, please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily FM20 content and much more, including live streams every Tuesday, which are really taking off. Thank you so much to everyone that's come along for those. And of course, do check out the podcast channel in the eye above as well. I'm living my dream, interviewing professional footballers. It's all happening very quickly and it's starting to take off. So I'm really thankful for your support. And I hope you can find something in them to enjoy and some wonderful people you'll learn a lot about too. And hopefully some of them will have represented your club at some point. But let's go and get into this one. We're not going to make this a big long episode. We're not going to talk about 100 things. It is Gladbach v Fenerbahce. It's our Champions League and our European debut. We have to focus on it. If we go to our dynamic screen, everything's looking very good in the club. We've got lots of players back from injury. The medical centre looking fairly good. No injuries, no recent returns. And the international break has been good to us. We've just had the one game since against Paderborn, a comfortable 2-0 win. In fact, late on, we got to rest players. So Abeng, Wilhelmsson and Jovanovic all got a half an hour rest. And the likes of Start, Palika and Hassan came on. Palika getting his debut, of course, after signing on deadline day. It just gave us lots of opportunities. They got 2 late red cards, Paderborn. We gave Umbahan his debut in goal. There were just so many positives. It really was a good day in the office. We've also got very quickly a couple of new staff. So these ones are, let me go and find them. Martin Hitz, who is a Swiss goalkeeping coach for the under-19s. Joined this summer and is a really good one. Decent across the boards. Good working with youngsters. We're happy enough with him. Loan manager, Jerome van den Berg from Holland. Really good at his job as well. Quality across the board. He's someone we're looking forward to working with in the future too. And we've also had a couple of new scouts come in as well. So I'm quite intrigued by what's happening off the pitch. Seems to be making really good moves. But that's all irrelevant today. It's a Champions League debut. Let's go and have a quick look at our profile. It's something we don't do very often. And as you know, this screen takes a long time to load. So I'll be back in a second. We've got to firstly worry about our contract, which expires at the end of this year. But of course, the way we're performing, we'll have interest in our jobs and I'm sure we'll do all right. I mean, our last 3, Burnley, who we took up to the Premier League, who are still managing in that Youth Academy Challenge in the live stream. We've got Ireland, an international job. And then Borussia Monchengladbach, where we won the German Cup last year, with a brilliant performance as well in the final. We're now fluent in Spanish and German as well, something that hadn't happened before. So that's going to be interesting. We've got languages now. That might give us an opportunity in Spain at a top club. But if we have a look at our career generally, I want to have a look at our stats across the board, and I'm not sure the best way to do that actually. Here we go. 7 club jobs, 948 days is our longest spell at a club. Lots of money in and out of clubs. Of course, a few days on holiday while we didn't have jobs, particularly at the start of the series actually. I think nearly 2-3 months before we joined Kettering, so most of those days were there. And in charge of Borussia Monchengladbach, 46 games of 555 in total. And after that, we now make our Champions League debut and our European debut. It's been a long time coming and we're going to savour this moment deeply. Roma have already won away at Salzburg with a first minute goal in their tie. That was an early kick-off. And now we can go joint top of the group with a win. We're just about favourites, but this isn't going to mean a lot. It is a big, big game. Here's the 11 we've gone for. And the excitement I was talking about is the new first choice midfield. Sommer back from injury. Wilhelmsen's not got a knock. So both of them start together in midfield for the first time. Jimenez probably unfortunate. He's had a solid season and is on the bench, as is Salih Hassan, who was of course brilliant in the Super Cup final. Only 7 subs in the Champions League, so not quite as much choice on the bench. Palika's still there though. Stark and Pereira are the most versatile defenders, and I've got to have a keeper there today. We don't want any disasters. But it's Maximiano in goal, Martinevski at right back with the new wonder kid Wimmer at left back. He played in the first game against Paderborn, did really well, and hopefully he can continue that. Jovanovic and Kawakita at centre-half, Wilhelmsen and Sommer in the middle as we mentioned, Pinamonti, Vera, Abengni attacking midfield 3, and Alexander Bittel up front. Got his goal against Paderborn, let's hope he can get on a run now. This is the 11 we've gone for. The bench has decent options if we need it. We've gone for Fernandes over Bowles as the winger, just because he can play both sides. And the same for Palika, more versatile than the other lads, so we've got to stick with that. We've picked our team, we've stuck to our guns, and let's hope it pays off now. Of course, let me know in the comments what you think the score will be. It's a 4-1-4-1 for Fenerbahce. They've got Jamal Lewis at left back, the Norwich lad. They've got Brian Gill on the left wing, who we've mentioned is a very good player. And their whole midfield actually must be quite experienced, because 10 years in, and none of them are regens. Neither's the centre-half Marasic actually. So this is a very experienced side. I can see Odegaard on the bench. I can see Piatek on the bench. I can see Alfredo Morelos on the bench. Well, this is interesting. An experienced side that have won 8 titles in a row. And we're going to have our work cut out here. We're going to stick with positive for now, but we may drop it back. It's Gladbach v Fenerbahce. It's our European debut. Can we get in a good performance? Well, 20 quiet minutes, just settling in. Probably a few nerves amongst the lads. And it's back to Wimmer at left back as we're in our first attack. Wilhelmsen switches to Martinevski. Overlapping from right back. 2 on the edge. One of them's Wilhelmsen. We know he's got a great strike on him, but he switches the play instead. Wimmer, the young left back, 18 years of age, beats his winger. Gets it to Pinamonti. Plays a 1-2. Into the box, it's blocked. And it's back to Sommer. Chance to deliver. Goes back to Wilhelmsen. Does he want to have a shot? He does! Oh, it's a great save. Wilhelmsen has got a thunderous left foot. It's almost like the Thomas Hitzelsberger. You know that one where he just picked it 30 yards out and you think he might score here. And that's the feeling we get every time with Wilhelmsen. And here he is on the right-hand side. Delivers to the back post. Sommer to Pinamonti. Back to Sommer. And the big money signing has scored on his Champions League debut for Gladbach. What a fantastic moment. £44 million well spent by the director of football. It is Gladbach 1, Fenerbahce 0, and that is just the start we were looking for. Half time then, I'm not quite sure what to make of this game in terms of the general action. We've not seen any attacking threat from Fenerbahce in highlights, but they've got the level on the stats, so I don't know whether to drop to balanced or not. I don't want to leave it too late. There's not many goals about actually. It's been a very quiet evening in the Champions League. Barcelona, City, United and Monaco all one up. Monaco probably the biggest surprise against Milan. But Niels Sommer, the big summer signing, has done the job. He's come in for big games and he's scored. We cannot praise him enough, or the director of football. But let's see if we can hold on to this in the second half. We will keep an eye on things and drop to balanced if needed. We know that a 2-goal win takes us above Roma as well, as Abeng delivers a corner. Olsen heads away and Zabelli can counter. This is where we worry. It's a 3-on-2. We should be okay. We've got men flooding back. But we haven't dealt with it. And it's gone straight in from Brian Gill. That is a sucker punch. A brilliant counter. We had plenty of men back to deal with it. And they just didn't do so. So we're going to ask the lads to show some passion. And they're fired up. But we need a response. As Wimmer throws into Sommer. Back to Wimmer again on the left. Good delivery towards Abeng. But it's straight at the keeper, who does well to claim it. Holds it too and makes it look very comfortable. Here's a Göring goal with a long kick forward. Flicked on but only as far as Wimmer. The young left back not having a good game today actually. Struggled with a big occasion as it goes out to Pinamonti on our left wing. The only one of the attacking four that's got a decent rating. Delivers to Abeng. Oh, he's hit the crossbar. Brilliant play from Pinamonti. And eventually it's cleared. But we just cannot get that breakthrough again. A goal with a goal kick for Fenerbahce. Long ball forward to Olsen on their right. And he's trying to take on the fullback. Pinamonti doing his bit to support. But he doesn't win the challenge. And now he's running at Wimmer. Doesn't get anywhere near him. Shoots wildly. It's over the bar. And I don't know what to do here. I think we have to drop to balanced in a minute because it doesn't seem to be having an effect. We can't get on top of this match and it's a really bizarre one to be a part of. So we are going to drop just for now and we'll give it 5 minutes before making changes. We are into that last 20 though, so we've got to think about it at this stage. And I don't know who's best in the attacking midfield role. Sommer, in essence, should be the best one. He's got a very good rating. But then do we bring Palika on and go more attacking? Or does he come on up front for Bittel? I mean, I think we're going to go Palika up front. Number 10, we're going to go Jimenez. And Kennedy Abeng will stay on for now. But I don't know where else to go. I think for now we'll leave it because Wilhelmsen's struggling physically. We'll give him 5 more and we might have to take him off. But if we don't win our home games, we've got no hope of getting through. Wilhelmsen knackered now, so we are going to bring on Hassan. He is going to go into attacking midfield. We saw in the Super Cup what he could do. Sommer to deep line playmaker, Jimenez to Mazzala. 10 minutes to go, back to positive. Let's demand a bit more. The lad's nervous and we want to get him on the front foot. And in fact, we're going to go attacking now because there is nothing occurring. Into 3 minutes of stoppage time. Is there anything we can do? We're going to push the defensive line up, push the line of engagement up. But I think it's too late. We're going to draw 1-1. It's been a very even game. And after a good start, we've been hit by one sucker punch. And that isn't the Champions League debut we were dreaming of. And I think third is probably the roof of our ambitions here. We should have won it. The lads are motivated. But not the start we were hoping for. Of course, we've now got additional problems too. Because we've got to play 2 games a week. We've got a game on Saturday. Bundesliga next Tuesday. German Cup Sunday. Then a midweek Champions League game. I mean, it's all happening. This is going to be really difficult. So I'm a little bit frustrated by that. Wilhelmsen has got a knock again. Just hasn't got back to fitness today. And another draw. I mean, don't forget, the board don't want us to get past the group stages. I mean, they'd like us to, but they just want us to be competitive. So we're going to try and stay in the Europa League after Christmas, and then hopefully we can have a real go at that. But that was worrying signs, because Fenerbahce aren't the best side we're going to face in this group. So we're going to leave it a little while now, try and get through a run of games. The next cup game against Union Berlin. We've got Salzburg and Roma in our first group of Champions League fixtures. And the likes of Leverkusen, Werder Bremen and Schalke and Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga. We've got a lot of big games. So we're going to play through now all the way to the end of October. And we're going to come back for the last week before the international break in November. RB Leipzig away from home. Obviously we signed the young left back from them, but they're a top 4 rival this season. And then RB Salzburg, the 2 Red Bulls together. That one at home in the Champions League, where we'll have a far better understanding after 2 away games of where we're going to be. Unfortunately, Jane, the deadline day signing, we can't fit him in the squad due to the home grow rules, but everyone else is there. So he might have to play in that cup game the week before. But I'm fairly optimistic, but I'm a bit worried about how we'll cope with 2 games a week. One quick bit of news before we finish off the episode is we have, post-match, gone and asked for some upgrades to the training facilities, which has been agreed, to the youth facilities, which has also been agreed, and finally also the data analysis facilities. So this club is very much ambitious and trying to reach the top. And we can't fault anything that's going on. Maybe some of the money's not spent best by the director of football, but he's getting good players in. And I feel like we're building something. We're probably not ready to challenge for a Bundesliga this year. It would take Bayern, Leipzig and Dortmund to all have a bad season, probably for us to win it. Or to all take loads of points off each other and then drop a few more. To have an injury crisis, whatever it may be. But I think, looking at the rest of the table, after Leverkusen last year, Schalke's dodgy start, I think we are probably the 4th best team now. And that's a really good point for us. If we can solidify that this year, firstly, it's an overachievement. It would ensure we get offered a new job, and it would also probably attract us to other employers. So we'll either get a new contract here or job offers elsewhere. But for us, of course, first place is going to be a miracle. We've won the German Cup, we're in the Champions League, so top 4 is a must for me this year. And I want to try and win something else as well. We nearly got there in the Super Cup, but we've still got a chance to defend the German Cup, and we've got a chance if we can stay in the Europa League after Christmas. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But if you did enjoy this episode, please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know what you thought of our European debut. It's clear the nerves were there. Some of the youngsters struggled a bit, but we'll get better. 2 away games might actually help now. We'll be back for the Salzburg game, which is our next home one. That's at the start of November, as well as Leipzig. I do hope you can come and join me for those. Let me know in the comments how you think we'll get on between now and then. Will we still be in the German Cup? Will we still be in the top 4? Who knows? That's the unpredictability of this club. If you haven't already, subscribe down below for daily FM20 content from both of my long-term stories. This one's back on Tuesday at 4:30 PM. for those two big games that we just mentioned. Dorking Wanderers is back on Monday. We've got a big cup tie in that one as well. Everything seems to be happening in the domestic cups this year. Seems to be the linchpin for both series. And then on Tuesday morning, of course, we'll be live again. We'll have our 10 a.m. live stream with Burnley, the club we left to come here in the head coach. We've just continued with the Youth Academy Challenge. I'll be honest, Football Manager's not the forefront of that. We played a game, but we just chat about football for an hour and a half, 2 hours every Tuesday morning. If you want to have a break from the outside world, you just want to come and have a chat, and do get involved. We've got a great little community, and it really is good fun to be a part of. Finally, the Stadium Review series is back tomorrow, and after my hometown club Luton last week, we're getting about as far away as you could go. Newcastle United, an unbelievable away trip, and we've got fond memories which we'll be discussing in detail. And of course, there's also 2 episodes a week from Cricket 19 on the channel, the latest episode out earlier today. Finally, I'm also part of a football podcast that does matchday vlogs, interviews and topical episodes as well. We've been lucky to interview loads of pros in recent weeks and I've been absolutely loving them. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of them lovely people, so honest, so open. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to discuss their career in detail. We love lower league football, non-league football. We love coaching, we love management and all different types of aspects within a club. So please do go and check them out. Hopefully there's someone from a club you support. If not, I'm sure there'll be one coming in the future. But a massive thank you for your support with both channels. I really have appreciated and I'm loving making the content at the minute. And I really appreciate everyone sticking by it and giving it a go. I hope to see you next time for 2 big games in this one, as well as tomorrow for the Stadium Review. But a big thank you as always for your support and hopefully I'll see you next time.